Welcome to Caribbean Millennials.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the Caribbean Millennials podcast. We're on episode 97. Thank you for joining us, sticking with us, Hopefully, you'll make it to 100 and beyond with us. A little housekeeping before we start. Anushka, I feel like you've done this like 3 times already for the day, but we're going to do it again to let the people know. Please, we are putting out a survey trying to get feedback from our listeners for the podcast. So if you have filled it out already, thank you. We really appreciate it. If you haven't, please do. Please take some time out and just fill it out. Tell us what you think, what you can do to improve, because we appreciate all the feedback and we welcome it all. We're trying to do anything we can to make the podcast a better experience for everyone. You can find it on the Caribbean Millennials Twitter, on the Caribbean Millennials Instagram in the bio. I have tweeted it. Anushka has tweeted it more than likely. Adani has tweeted it. So
Yep.
please, once again,
I even
any
put it on Facebook for y'all oldies.
see Adani put it everywhere. Anything y'all can do, just take a little time out and just fill out
Yeah,
that survey for
it's
us.
not very long, but it's an opportunity to tell us what you think, and definitely takes less than
Even
five
if you have
minutes.
no if you just want to give us praise or something,
We'll take
we
it.
will take it. We just want to know what y'all think of the podcast. That's all. And with that being said, how was everyone's week?
Well, just before that, we'll also try to put a link in the description of this episode if that makes it easier for you guys as well.
Yes, good catch, Anushka. Good catch. So how was everyone's week?
Okay, because I can be a morbid Debbie Downer, I'm going
Whoa.
to go that way. One of my aunts died this week,
Yeah.
and
Condolences to the fam.
in a sense I was prepared for it, but it was the first COVID related death in our family, and
Ah.
I think it gave I mean it definitely gave the family a bit of a shock, um as it would naturally, but it also showed, that we're not no one is really exempt, or no family is exempt from, things going that way. And my aunt that died, she was taking her necessary precautions, but it ended up, it just ended up that was how it was, you know going to end, right?
Yeah.
But I think the thing that it really brought to my mind this week was on just where we are in our lives, and like death and stuff like
I
that.
thought you said you weren't going to be the Debbie Downer,
No,
all
I said
morbid.
because I am the Debbie Downer,
Oh,
I'm going
oh,
to
okay.
start off so then y'all can we can get all happy and stuff,
Ah, okay,
right?
okay, okay.
But like this is my dad's second sibling that has died in the past 6 months, and now he's the youngest sibling. He's 65, and his oldest sibling is 91. So they're just in that category that it's not if they're going to die, it's like when they're going to die, right? And for me, that is just kind of an acknowledgement of where we are, and we're getting to that point where we have to look at our parents and grandparents and acknowledge that death is inevitable, right? So
No. You keep trying to have this conversation with me or with
I know
us,
I keep
and
don't what
no,
y'all are never going to say that Anushka did not try and help y'all mentally prepare for the
there's
inevitable.
no mental preparation you can do
There's
for a
absolute
parent.
mental preparation. I've
Not,
done it for every death I've experienced so far.
yes, but I'm talking about with regards to a parent. Because you're talking about thinking about our parents. My parents, I do not want to have to do. No, I'm good.
But
Next
you're
stop.
going to have to.
No, yeah, cool, great, awesome. When
Hmm.
that time comes, sure.
Hopefully, this serves somebody on the podcast. But that's just my 2 cents from
I,
from
I'm not. No,
from
and
this
do not take it
week.
as me dismissing your 2 cents.
I'm
I am
just
telling
saying
you,
we
I
getting older as well. The same way they getting older, we getting older, and we have to at some point know that that's the role we're going to have to kind of step into and acknowledge, right? Like I've seen two sets of my cousins, essentially bury or cremate or whatever their parents, and you see it and it breaks your heart to kind of see them mourning, but then it's like, oh shit, I'm going to be in that position someday. No, I mean,
Again, not dismissing, not saying it's not going to happen, but for now, I am good not going there.
I think you just want to say you're happy living in the present and not thinking about that.
Yeah, Julius going to live forever. Okay,
Okay.
end of story. Julius ain't going to live forever. Cool, great.
And Danny's not even getting involved.
Um, it is what it is.
Uh, oh, I like even better, Danny. It is what it is, you
Like I
know.
sometimes think about it, but I just try and live in the moment and enjoy the time that I do have.
Yeah, well, and
Soak
that's
in the
part of
wisdom.
what I'm saying, right? Because the elders that you have now are who's becoming your ancestors, right? And your kids' ancestors and stuff like that, right? So it's like appreciate the time and the memories with those people now, right? Acknowledge that they're getting older. Um, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. So, boy, Danny, I hear you took the vaccine this week.
Yes, I took the prick in my arm. It has been approximately 48 hours, and I still have no superpowers. I'm
Yeah, I was also
disappointed.
asked, are you flying? You seen through walls? Can you run fast?
I thought I had put the TV off with my mind, but I now think that I was maybe mistaken. Maybe it was the auto time off feature. Somebody playing with me.
Okay, okay, okay. And you should keep that in a journal,
Yeah.
possible, so you can know at exactly what day and
Mm-hmm.
time your superpowers manifested.
They too tried to bend spoon with mind. Did not work.
Uh, um, but it's good. Well, from what I've heard, from what my dad was saying, that St. Lucians are very receptive to the vaccine. Everyone is going out there and trying to get it. So I think that's a very good thing, and
Yeah.
I hope it continues that way. I hope
And
they get more doses.
basically, they have given vaccine. From what I understand, I could be wrong. They've given some element of vaccine rollout to the events company, the company that throws parties, like
Oh,
the jazz like event they had a couple of summers ago and Mercury Beach. So I can see a few ads coming. I basically I think that people are making taking the vaccine look cool. So I think more people will get on board as well.
yo, if that's what they have to do to make it accepted, then so be it. I just hope that people do not believe them getting the vaccine means it's now you can throw away the social distancing and the mask and the hand sanitizer and these kind of things. I mean, I feel they should still follow those protocols. It just means now they can ease off on your with the things like the curfew, and them types of things. Because I know
Yes.
y'all must be itching to go back to normal and not, have curfew and them things. So
Yeah. I mean, I was already staying home even when the curfew was not there. It was just once in a while. We used to have our little like bonfire thing with like about 10 of us or six under 10 of us, and just vibe, like just being outside, because the weird thing, I was just talking to my mom about this week, and I was telling her it's weird how like work work only like took a 2 month break, but like anything to do with fun or like actually enjoyment
it's
has.
been like a year,
Yeah, it's been a year break. So
right?
it's like if we've been working the whole time and they've just been like, yeah, don't have any fun. Yeah, because fun leads to cases skyrocketing. But work, because work is fine. You need to keep working so you can eat. But you don't have to have fun so you can eat. So yeah, choose.
Uh, yeah. Honestly, I didn't think of it that way until you just said it. Like, yeah, they made fun take a serious, 1 year break, but work was constant, like 2 months, and now it's like back to work.
Yeah.
Aye.
The third time now they'll be trying to force us back into school is coming up. So it's just it's just like you feel like going to pay you to just sit at home and look at your computer when you could be like cooking food or feeding your dog. I don't pay you to feed your dog. Come to work. Come to work.
I must say, I really think, granted that it seems like they're trying to get back to some sort of normal, I don't think they should dismiss the whole idea of online teaching and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should find a way to try and, refine that system and implement it into the current schooling system and,
Mm-hmm.
make it a kind
I
of
I
a
agree
new
fully.
normal.
Yes,
Yeah.
they should. They should even try to encourage more use technology use as we go forward.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because COVID really showed, that in the Caribbean we need to step up our use of technology and try and, implement more digital systems and whatnot. Because you saw when COVID, people, you can't go and renew your license, you can't go and do this. This.
Yeah.
They need to try and, implement better systems. But I hope, I hope they take a note, and for all you know, they probably have some serious big plans that they go to try and implement. All we can do is wait and see.
Yeah, yeah. Hope for the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had a good week though. Other
Okay,
than the
okay.
vaccine, I have started my journey to find a project car.
Oh.
So that's
You've
been going exciting.
you've restarted the journey
Yes,
because
restarted.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Restarted officially.
Co- again, COVID had messed that up for you.
Yes, yes. So, and COVID kind of made it even more like on one end, I was like, wow, boy, should you really spend on that? Like it's COVID. And then on the other end, you're like, yeah, but one life to live. And then I spoke to my neighbor, and I mean, he has this stuff almost down to a science. He's married, has two kids, has his race car, and he has his normal life. And I just act talking to him about it, and it's like, sometimes you just need something to do to take your brain off things. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I mean, other than that, everything else I do is on a phone or on a tablet or a computer. So it would be nice to just do something mechanical and
Mm-hmm.
not look at a computer screen. Just
yeah, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
yep. See how that goes. I'll keep the podcast informed.
um so yeah, my week itself was pretty, I don't know, I want to say tiring, and my father saw it like on Thursday. Which day you went to the chiropractor?
Thursday.
Yeah, on Thursday. So my dad called me on Thursday and he was like, you okay? Like you don't sound your normal self. But I was just exhausted. And it wasn't a physical exhaustion, it was a mental. Like you
Mm.
using your brain all day, and
Yeah.
you working on complex things. So like you at the end of the day, you just exhausted. That was me on Thursday when my dad called me and spoke to me. And when he spoke to me again last night, he was like, yeah, I had never heard you. It's been a while since I heard you sound like that and whatnot. But it was a busy week. I mean, Tuesday I had a whole day meeting, and that one whole day meeting, it threw off the rest of my week. But other than that, my week was fine. I work, chill on Friday, yesterday, chill today as well. Did some groceries today. Went out into the world with the scary people who don't want to wear masks anymore. Because, as you know, listeners, the Texas governor has rescinded the mask mandate, the statewide mask mandate. So now masks are not required statewide. Although stores and private businesses still reserve the right to require masks and refuse service to people. So we're going to see how that's going to turn out. I've already seen a video of a guy complaining about it. He went to a Trader Joe's and he couldn't get in. Well, they finally let him in, but I think they didn't want to let him in because his children didn't have masks. He had a mask, but they didn't, and they wanted him to have his children wear masks. So he made a fuss and he compared them wanting to wear a mask to racism, racial discrimination, and Nazi Germany.
That's madness.
And he
Crazy.
did all of that just for him to go in there and buy some cucumbers.
Why cucumbers?
Apparently, his wife likes the cucumbers from Whole Food, from Trader Joe's, but she wants the rest of the groceries from Whole Foods. So
Oh, white people.
yeah, so listeners, once again, I feel like we probably say this a couple, like every couple episodes or maybe every episode. Just stay safe, people. Continue to social distance, wear your mask, use your hand sanitizer. Like, yes, there's a vaccine now, but that doesn't mean to just throw caution to the wind and wild out, you know? Yeah. So, guys, this week I feel like this week I would randomly be on the internet, on social media, wherever, and I'll just take notes of little things I notice and things that I would want to, maybe possibly talk about. So this is one of those episodes where we just have a bunch of things to talk about, all right?
And Danny and I have no idea what Vernon's going to pull out
Yep.
of his hat of tricks.
Out of my cell phone, but yeah, sure, hat, call it my hat. It's not, I'm not ambushing you. It's not anything wild. It's not anything crazy. But okay, one of the first things I saw on social media was some people shaming other people for working a regular 9 to 5.
Like seeing how you should be your own boss, be an entrepreneur, kind of sort of thing.
Right there, right, Anushka, right. Whew.
Okay, so my standpoint on this theme.
So, hold on, before you start, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to just give a little more, a little more backstory. Yeah. So
Okay, but let me say this first.
yes,
I'm
but
just
go
going
ahead.
to say
Yes, yes. Sorry.
my standpoint on this theme of social media posts is always going to be stop telling people how to live their mother lives. Right? Like, if somebody want to brush their teeth with peanut butter, or if they want to,
What?
yeah, like if
Babe, I feel that's like university. Like you
no,
shouldn't brush your
no.
teeth with
If
peanut butter.
somebody want to,
Cavities.
I don't care. If, right? If somebody want to do whatever, if they want to jump off a cliff, if they want to, work a 9 to 5, if they want to work a 2 to 7, if they want to,
Do
live at their
OnlyFans.
mother home, if they want to, whatever,
Yeah.
that's their life. They're entitled to do whatever the hell they want, and you're entitled to do whatever the hell you want with your life. Stop telling people how to live and shaming people for their life. Like,
So
anyway, sorry.
what I saw, it was on a Reddit post, and it was a guy talking about his recent encounters he's been having in the dating world. He's single, you know, ready to mingle, and he trying to find his one. So he's been out there dating, and he's saying he's running into an issue, and even the people's friends, they're making fun of him for having a 9 to 5. And one of them made a comment to him, and it was to the point that you think you special for working a 9 to 5. You think you special for doing the norm, which is, go to school, get a degree, get a job, and go to work, right? And he said the thing that bothered him about a lot of these things is that a lot of the people don't understand that it's always been a dream for him, the job he has. That has been his dream job. He went to school because it's in an area that he's very interested, he's passionate about, and he got educated and a degree in that field, and he's made it to a good point in that field where he makes upwards of, he didn't say the exact number, but he said he makes upwards of 1.5 mil a year. So he's trying to understand why is like he thought at a point in time he wasn't making enough money, and now he's making enough money, and now there's a problem with how he's making the money. Anushka, Adani, thoughts,
I
feelings?
mean, my point still stands, right? Like, do whatever you want in your life for your life, whatever, right? Some people may take a job that chooses to make them less money because that is more aligned with their passions, their lifestyle, what they want for their life, or it gives them a freedom of time or work life balance that, whatever. Being an entrepreneur, coming from parents, coming from a family of parents who were entrepreneurs, right? It's like that is hard work, and it, like, that is honestly, if you all watch Gary Vee, that like never not working lifestyle if you really doing it and trying to grow, because it's like You can't clock off, in something like that. Similarly, there are some quote unquote 9 to 5 jobs that are not 9 to 5 at all, right?
Exactly.
And
My job is not 9 to 5.
right, and you can make good money, and not have the overheads of running or responsibilities of having employees and running a business, so there are multiple paths, there are multiple ways. It's not a one size fits all thing. And I think it's also that um who are you to say how somebody lives their life? Like,
I agree.
I mean, that's always going to be my standpoint.
You hit a lot of good points there, Anushka. The it's you cannot tell somebody how to live their life, and it's not a one size fits all type thing. But when the guy made the post, some of the comments I saw, and it wasn't people bashing or making fun of him. It was someone made a comment basically saying that they have encountered the same thing, and often they find the people who are making fun of them for working a 9 to 5 are the people who have no clue, or they still haven't figured out what they want to do with their life.
So are the people that are making fun, do they have a 9 to 5? Do they have a job at all? Are they part-time workers? Are they business owners? Who are they?
So he was the guy who was saying some of them they still have 9 to 5s. Some of them they struggling business owners. So they think they start up something, but he say in talking with them he realized like they're not even really putting in the effort to make
Mhm.
whatever they have work and whatnot. But I read it and I was like, so you basically telling me these are people making fun of somebody who woke up one day and they realized what they wanted from their life.
Mm.
Because that's basically what is from what the guy sounded like. It sounded like he woke up, he realized what he wanted from his life, what he wanted for himself. He realized what he had to do to get it. He made a plan, he followed it, he worked, and he got to where he had to go. So it's like, why are we shaming them for it? And but here's the thing. I realize, and I'm not trying to I want to say something, but I don't want to come off like I bashing anybody or anything. But from the comments, it seems like a pattern I am seeing is a lot of women making fun of men doing those things. Nothing to say, Anushka. Like you don't feel no way about it. I just want to make sure, because I don't try to offend people, but I'm seeing, from me, I'm seeing a pattern. That's all. I haven't seen too many men, not because I don't know if it happens, but I personally haven't seen men make fun of like a woman working a 9 to 5. I feel like for men, it's like as long as we bringing in money or you bringing in money, like yeah, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say on it, to be honest. I mean, there always gonna be these people, whether it's men or women. I I'd look I would look down on them either way. Like, you don't have something better to do than to, just criticize someone else.
Because you should look down on.
Yeah, no, well, in the nicest way, like.
Yeah, so it's really, I don't know. I think everybody just needs some kind of crusade to be on social media. So
That is a crusade.
yeah, it
I
just
think
seems
that's a
nowadays.
great way to describe it, though, because these people always, they're like fighting for something that's absolutely nothing,
Yeah,
like.
yeah, especially now that people have time to be on crusades. I think everybody's trying to find some kind of cause, and for some people, where they plant the flag on the hill, is yeah, not working 9 to 5. The thing is, right? If if that is not your thing, then that is not your thing. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5, don't want to work a 9 to 5. But as usual, everybody feels the need to tell everybody why working a 9 to 5 is terrible and why they shouldn't work a 9 to 5 either. you know.
So here's my thing: if nobody was working 9 to 5s, who would be employed in all of the businesses?
Who would be working 9 to 5s if nobody was working 9 to 5s? Exactly, because not everybody can work a 9 to 5. you
And
know.
the other
But
thing I was going to say, in this time when we're living through a pandemic, just the fact that somebody still has a job and is earning money and doing something positive, trying to, make ends meet, even pre-pandemic, but especially in the pandemic when so many people have lost jobs, that's a amazing thing that you working and doing your damn thing and you still on your path. You know how many people's lives they felt like was stopped and weren't able to like make progress, in this time.
so
Exactly.
again, y'all made really good points here. First of all, you can't yuck somebody. You can't hate
Mm.
somebody because they want to work a 9 to 5 or make fun of them. But to add to that also, some people like the stability or the reassurance of a 9 to 5 because they know, I know, okay, if I go Monday through Friday 9 to 5, I know I'm guaranteed a paycheck. No matter what happens, I get my paycheck. It's the same amount, it's not dependent on anything.
Let me give you an example. We recently had somebody who left our team, right?
Yeah.
But she left the team because she was a contractor for our business first,
Okay.
and then she decided there was an opening on our team and she decided to apply as a full-time employee. And the reason being is because in her business, we were one of her many clients, and she felt she was working 70, maybe 80-hour weeks in her own business, that she just wanted the stability and the break of a 9 to 5 so that she could focus on she could still have a decent income, benefits, the time to spend with her husband, work on her health, all of that kind of thing. And then now, just kind of how things were in her life now, and with more opportunities coming on the table, she decided, okay, I'm going to go back as a contractor. You guys can be one of my clients. I have other business
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
want to do, right? So I think it's also like breaking down these stereotypes of like it has to be this one thing,
Yeah.
as
Yes.
well, right? Like,
Yes.
um I was doing, contract work, at some point, and then I hopped into this full-time job that I have now. But even before that, I was working and doing the side hustle thing at the same time, right? It's just a matter of certain things work for you at different points in your life a little better based on what you're trying to achieve.
But the other thing I wanted to add, the people making fun of people working 9 to 5s, right? Talking about,
That not making no sense.
you have to be a boss and entrepreneur, start your own business or whatnot.
No.
When you become an entrepreneur and a boss and you start your own business, you still have to hire people to work for you nine to
Of
five,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And
But when you're
honestly,
entrepreneur, you're working more than 9 to 5. So
exactly. And the thing too is, even doing the boss, I'm a boss lady, kind of thing, right? Like, personally for me, I'm at a point in my career where I feel like right now at this point and in what I've done so far, I prefer managing projects over managing people, right?
Okay,
Like,
okay.
my history in like managing people, it hasn't been as enjoyable because it takes me away from the actual like meat of the work, right?
Okay, I understand.
And that's what brings me joy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to call this episode Internet Crusaders. That's what I'm going to call it. Because,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, no,
it's weird, because I I think in some misguided way, the people who see who are anti 9 to 5, they trying to like urge people to not settle and go for your dreams, but at the same time, what is required of an entrepreneur is to hustle. So I know plenty of entrepreneurs that also have a 9 to 5 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people work a 9 to 5 and then they do their side business until it grows, and then they have no choice but to quit the 9 to 5 and manage their side business full time. So, are you really against a 9 to 5, or are you just, you know, against
against
people
working
not.
for somebody for,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
somebody else.
Are you against? Are you against be not being the boss?
Well, here's my thing. Here's my other thing. People,
Somebody has to be the boss.
yeah, but it's not that alone. Some people they have the dream of going and climbing the corporate ladder.
Hmm.
People have the dream of, yo, you see that company over there, I really like that company, and I want to go and work there, and I want to work my way up to the top and become the boss of that company. Th-
Well,
that's what people have dreams there. You can't hate on somebody's dreams.
I mean, even for me, at some point, I felt like that's the track that I was on. Like, I'm going to climb this corporate ladder, looking for promotions and these kinds of things and all of that. And then I got to a point where I was just like, I'm actually good where I'm at right now. Like, the title changes and more managerial responsibility didn't mean as much to me. And I'm like, at least for now, as long as I can continue getting a bonus and that kind of thing, I'm good. Like, at this point in time, I'm not looking to go as further at this exact point.
Yeah.
Not saying that I don't want it later on,
No, it's just right
just right
now where
now,
you are in your life.
I'm good,
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Makes
Right.
sense to me. But
What's the next? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I think just be you, do what you do the best, whether it be your 9 to 5, your entrepreneur.
And
That
fuck the haters.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Make your money.
Yeah, a lot
Enjoy
of
your,
times,
your enjoy your benefits and
a lot of
healthcare.
times people
Okay, right?
a lot of times people like assume a 9 to 5 is like McDonald's, and like being an entrepreneur it makes you Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, and there's so many variations in between. So yeah, just do what works for you.
Your healthcare paid for you and to be paid for other people's healthcare.
Which one do you want?
a,
Take your pick.
a lot of entrepreneurs don't even have employees, so they're not
Oh,
even there yet.
they do it all themselves. So
What's the next thing in Vernon's bag of Internet Crusade? I'll take Vernon's Internet Crusaders for 800, please.
so
Wow.
I saw on Twitter, was it Twitter or Facebook? I can't remember where. I saw somewhere, but people we had they recently took the ban of alcohol in St. Lucia, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and she who shall not be named came and said, "Oh, we should ban alcohol permanently." Now we're not going to go down that path because that's just dumb on a whole. But people were arguing with people who were bashing her for saying that, and someone threw in a comment, and it was to the effect that it's always the people who don't live here who have the most to say.
Mm.
So here's my question: do you believe by not living in your home country that makes you less patriotic and you should not have a say or an opinion on what is going on in your country? Because that's what the person was saying to the effect.
Hi,
um
Danny. I'll let you take this one.
I think yes and no,
Okay.
right? When you live abroad, right, for an extended period of time, it's easy to jump online and laundry list everything that's wrong with wherever you left in the past, right? But a lot of people, right, they did not being very fair to themselves or to St. Lucia when you do that, right? Because a lot of things are different on both sides.
So,
So you are
go ahead.
allowed, once you're born in St. Lucia or you have St. Lucian roots, you are allowed to, make reference or comments to whatever is going wrong on the island. That that shouldn't be an issue. The issue is when you just going based when you're not going based on what actually is happening in St. Lucia, but you're more going based on what is going on wherever you live in the world, and why isn't St. Lucia this? Why isn't
Mm.
St. Lucia exactly like New York City? Why isn't St. Lucia
Hmm.
exactly like Miami? Why isn't St. Lucia exactly like Europe? Like some a few weeks ago, somebody made the comment of they can't wait for if you fought to be the like Miami, And I just found fault in that. I've
What?
been somewhere that lived in Miami. I was just like, you're
Okay,
sure you
so
want before to be like Miami, because
okay,
Miami's a terrible place to live most of the time. Like,
okay, so now this has taken us down a path where this has opened up a new side of this, because I get what you're talking about. That's one extreme. But when I saw the comment, the person made a comment to somebody giving suggestions. They were not trying to compare or anything. They were saying that rather than jump to the extreme of banning alcohols, maybe we could try this, maybe try educating the people, try and maybe enforce laws a little better, and that's what they were talking about. And the person jumped on them and was like, it's always the people who are away that have the most to say and whatnot. So that's what I ask in here, because I know we have the extremes. You have the people, and I think that's very, like you said, Danny. We should not be comparing St. Lucia to other places. That's apples to oranges. People, other places, their systems, far more, well, it different from ours. It built different. They run things differently. But I talking about when you have people, maybe they cannot come back home right now, or they just moved away for opportunity, but they have ideas on things we could try to make the country better. And then we have people who live home who basically make fun of or try and put them down for trying to express those ideas. Like, what's your take on that? That's what I want to know.
yeah, I think it's unfair to the people who live abroad, because everybody just trying to live a better life. So
Yeah.
if you going to live abroad and you want to make suggestions on what can work, yeah, why not? I mean, there's no problem in that. I think the problem comes when you, I guess, try and act superior,
Yes.
like you're not living here, you don't know the exact day to day, but you're acting superior as to why don't Lucians do this and why don't
Yeah.
Lucians do that. Like, it's not a suggestion, but more of like a command.
Like a
And
condescending
yeah,
type of thing. Yeah.
yeah. And St. we do this thing where if we don't like you and you're not our friend, then we're just going to dismiss what you say. so, so they don't care if you're coming from a good place, or you care, or you actually want to see change. Like, I don't know you. Who do you think you are? Like, you live abroad. Relax. Like,
Cool out yourself.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, you have to get out of that habit. But I think you should be able to say what you want if you send Notion roots. I mean, where I draw the line is people that maybe just going based on one source of information.
Yeah,
They don't
I,
have the
I
full
agree with you
story.
there.
Yeah, and they just going based on one source of information. So I mean, for example, anybody that say, "Wow, boy, certain church party really doing good," they fixing all the roads, and a local will come and tell you, guys, why you shut your mouth? Because if you had to even wake up here one morning, you would know that no road here is actually good. Like every like every road here has like measly potholes in it. Come on, what are you talking about? Like, you just going off of something you see online, like, bruh.
Well, and I guess that's that it comes back to the whole social media is not reality kind of thing, right?
Internet
Where
Crusaders.
you may be overs and have the best intentions, but you don't have the full picture of how it is in on the ground, right?
Yeah,
Like even just in the experience of us doing this podcast and you being up in Portland and now you being in St. Lucia, right? The things we would talk about then, and now the context you have from being on the ground, living there day to day, you can come back and tell us, no, well, yeah, we thought that would work, but the way things are, or the pulse on the ground, or how people respond to this is XYZ.
Yeah,
It's really the like theoretics versus like in person
yeah,
actual
yeah.
thing.
Theory versus practical.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's not to say that the theories do not work and they're not valid suggestions, but they need to be taken. And the other thing is, a lot of time, excuse me, I guess I'm in some mood today, but a lot of people online are just ultimately beating their ass. Who is doing anything about the actual thing, right? Like, giving suggestions online is not necessarily giving suggestions or something to somebody who's going to be able to do something about the thing. You know what I mean?
So here's my thing. When I see people bash people for giving suggestions, oh, you live in overseas, you don't know what you're talking about, keep quiet and whatnot. Then my thing is, okay, so they live in overseas and they don't know what they're talking about. But what are you doing to help the situation? Because at least they're trying to have a constructive conversation and
Mm-hmm.
try to give ideas, brainstorm, hey, maybe we could try this. But all you're doing is bashing them for living overseas. First of all, you don't know the circumstances under which a person had to move away from their home country. Okay, it could be they move for a better opportunity. For they could have moved for opportunity plans to come back, and now they cannot come back yet. You do not know,
Maybe they overstay.
right? Either way, I do not believe moving away makes you less patriotic, and I do not believe you being there makes you more patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That
I can tell you there's some people that live here that are very non-patriotic. They love nothing about here. They want to leave. They want to go overseas. They
bro,
constantly question why St. Lucia
bro,
is not like
I
Well,
Miami
going
or
to say
not like
something.
New
I going
York
to say something
City.
crazy. Yeah, the politicians not patriotic.
anyway, we're not going there. We're not going there. But it also doesn't mean that because you're there, you're doing more for the country than somebody who is abroad, because there have been many people that we've seen abroad do things like charity work, fundraising campaigns, start petitions, start social media campaigns, mobilize with other people on the ground, or even if they don't do things as forward or like publicly, there's things people do in the background, or people know, and all of that stuff as well. So what's next in I'll take what was the term, internet what?
Internet Crusaders.
I'll
Crusaders.
take Internet Crusaders for 1000 for that.
It goes that high? I thought 800 was the max.
No, it's
So
not how much Jeopardy goes to, not 1000.
I don't know, I can't remember. Let's see. It's a little me something there. Um. So this guys. Danny sent me a tweet a couple weeks ago. Maybe
How
what?
much time you all spent on Twitter this week?
No. Danny sent me this. I think it was
Anyway, Adani Twitter always
was
open.
it last week or
It's
maybe it
true.
was week before. Either way, Adani sent me a tweet, and it was this girl who says that she's a Reiki healer,
Oh,
right?
this one.
Um Astrology, the energies, the moons, Mercury and Gatorade, all of that.
Yeah.
But basically, she is tweeting and she's tweeting screenshots of a conversation she's having with her ex. And she's basically texting her ex and telling him to stop masturbating because when he masturbates, she knows that he's thinking about her and she can feel it. Now, I bring this up not to talk about the masturbate, none of that. I bring this up because a couple of weeks ago we had an episode where we talked about women being attacked, and Anushka,
Oh, yes, yes.
yes, women being attacked, and men, we say men need to do better. To come back and say yes, men need to do better, but women need to do better too, because this right here was a case of
That, let me tell you, I not
emotional
taking that. I
terrorism.
not taking that because that woman was just toxic.
That was that. You know how women say this is a new thing we noticed where people calling people toxic and whatnot. This was an example of a toxic woman, and
Hmm.
it was very alarming. The comments below, the replies, where people saying, "Oh, I agree, yes," and
Yo,
because
I'm so over all of these hype people on the internet.
she was basically trying to police the man's thoughts and tell him what he can and cannot
But
think
she
of.
didn't even know. Anyway, okay. first of all, we'll and come back one step at a time. Okay, Ricky, energy healer, whatever. I really, really hope that this woman did not give a bad name, reputation, whatever to other people of people in that
She
space.
did to me because that's the topic I'm going to talk about after this.
Anyway, I, mm, but the thing is, just because somebody has that in their bio doesn't mean
Homegirl says
anything.
she had the certificates to prove it, that she has trained with monks
Sure,
and whatnot.
right? But anyway, that also doesn't mean that somebody isn't toxic, right? Like you could go through some stuff and still you could get all the education, but if you haven't done the work and healing for yourself, then of course. Anyway, the on the topic of what she was telling him. One, this is your ex, right?
Yeah. Her ex?
Why are you going to one tell your ex to stop masturbating?
Hold on. It's an ex she hasn't spoken to for months. So
Okay.
she reached out to him out
And you
of the
just
blue.
one that's just messy that you texting your ex to tell him stop masturbating because when you masturbating, I can tell you thinking about me. Right?
Sounds like it.
Right?
Um,
Like why? Like why? Why?
but here's my question.
Okay, and hear that.
Okay.
You so energetic or whatever, blah blah blah. You can't just zap him back. You can't just like
Protect your energy,
you know,
shield karate chop in
yeah,
a
get
way.
some stones, get some
No, but so
you know what I mean, get some crystals, do something.
and that's
Uh,
what people were asking her. People say you such a good healer, you so in tune with your energy
yeah,
and
get your
whatnot. You
selenite,
can
whatever,
cut the
cleanse.
cords, and
Occlumency.
cleanse him and kind of thing.
Occlumency.
Um, so boy, I don't even know where to begin with this because I read this and I was like, yo, this has to be a
But
joke.
then how did it continue? The fella said,
So the fella responded to her like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like I haven't spoken to you in months, and you reach out to me to tell me about masturbating." And she go on to tell him about, oh, she know what time, how she can feel it around this time.
yes, and then he's asked her, oh well, what time is it,
Yeah,
or something like that.
he asked her what time. She say, oh, she say around 1 a.m. or something like that.
I think this is somebody using this energy stuff as an excuse to open the door to of conversation to this guy and insert herself in his thing.
I believe
Um,
so too.
so here's my question. You tell a man, oh, don't think about me and whatnot. It's like I guarantee you, everybody who has had an ex or something, somebody has had a flashback to a one hot steamy session. You know,
Who tell you the man still have a good well for you? Who tell you that? Like
Her energy.
right, like
her chakras,
even
Alicia,
just
the
base.
stars, the cards.
Well, let me tell you, her sacral chakra needs some balancing right about now, because sis got it twisted.
And honey, what's your take on this? Because you don't want to share it with me, and
I when I saw it, I was pissed.
yeah,
I was
I,
just
I
like,
never got a daddy's like a full take on this because I got heated. I'm not going to lie. I was like, yo, this is some toxic shit. Like this is manipulation. This
Um,
is yeah.
for me, I was just confused because I was like, why in the world would this person do that? Like, imagine you just at your home minding your business, and somebody just come and message you and tell you, stop masturbating about me. Like, what? Huh? Like,
Right?
like,
but I
like,
mean,
how much access do you have to people's thoughts? Like, does she know it was masturbation for sure? Let's say the man was just thinking about her, like, just randomly.
but even so,
You know,
Danny,
thinking on
right?
the good times.
Let's pose this question, right? If you break up with somebody, is there issue if they masturbate and think about you?
Ooh.
I personally, I don't think so. But
I don't think so. Like, I mean, if y'all were having sex and whatever, and you were their last like person or whatever, and it just so happens that that's what comes to mind, like, do you see also somebody's thoughts, as far as we know, are private, right? So
yeah, I mean, when you say it that way, isn't she in the wrong for invading his private thoughts?
Mm.
Damn, you're getting deep on me there.
Well,
You'll flip
and that's the
the
thing,
script.
right? Like if it's private thoughts or whatever, people have masturbated to strangers, people
To
have
porn stars.
Bruh.
masturbated to porn
Be-
stars,
Beyonce
celebrities, whatever.
Beyonce must have a headache because Beyonce, Rihanna, and Megan Thee Stallion must have headaches because my word, the amount of
BJ,
people that must be doing them, like it must
all
be like
the
standing underneath like a nuclear power plant. Like you just
all the magazine clipping girls that is probably be or guys that is be in prison, you know,
Yeah,
oh,
like
cause one of the things she said about, oh, I woke up and I was wet, so I could tell it was you. And I'm like, yo, that's what you basing this off. I'm
oh
like,
my
if it's
god.
that, then I feel sorry for
So you know
Rihanna
that
and these
means she
people.
was thinking of him too.
Guys, I believe this is
Over
somebody
it. I'm so
that
over it.
was had feelings for the ex still, and they were thinking about the
And
person,
they
and
were trying and open the door,
they try and
trying
open the
and
door.
say, yeah.
Yeah, but
Like she I want to humble and say, oh, I miss you, I want you, but she should want to project and say, oh, I know.
so this leads me to my last thing, and I don't know if it's a topic or more just my wish, my hope, my statement, my one for 2021 and beyond. For the rest of the year, and Anushka, don't take offense to this. This is not at you, but I
You know
w-
I activate the moment you say that, right?
I know, but I don't think you need to activate. What I want from us as people, because the trend I noticed, I want us to stop using this astrology and energy and Reiki healing and tarot card stuff and the universe and the stars. I need us to stop using this as an excuse for our bad behavior. Anushka, I see you mouth it because you've probably heard me say it already, but you have to agree. A lot of
I do
people,
agree.
a lot of people are using this as to excuse their bad behavior and
I
excuse their poor decision makings and their horrible interactions with other people.
I do agree. Because as somebody who's going through yoga teacher training right now, right? One of the things this asks you to do is sit with your material, right? Sit with yourself, acknowledge where you may be doing things out of ego or selfishness or limiting beliefs and all of that kind of stuff, right? To really challenge yourself to be in better relationship with yourself and in others, right?
Yeah,
So when you see stuff like that, even how she came, even if let's say that was a thing, she could have come at him in a different way,
I
right?
agree. I agree.
Right? It could have just been an open conversation like, hey, how are you? Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. And just say, yeah, I've been feeling some type of way, almost feeling like, you know, I'm in people's thoughts or something like that. You know, like
Yeah,
there would have been a way to have the conversation without being so aggressive, right? For lack of a better word. Um I believe in energy healing and Reiki and astrology and all of these things. I've had my own experiences with them, but I do believe all of that is just a guide for what we already know inside, right?
yeah.
Like I don't believe that because this says this in your chart, like because whatever is in this placement in your chart, you're never going to have children,
Jesus.
like I not gonna take something like that. It may say, and it always is with guidance, right? Okay, because this and this is here, it might be difficult, or there might be challenges or whatever.
There's always room for interpretation.
And all of these things, it's always there's a possibility, there's a might, there's a whatever, there's some energy around this, but it doesn't say exactly what it is or isn't, right?
Yeah,
So to
yeah.
say, even say, or you must be masturbating on me, because of whatever, whatever, It could have been that he was having sex with somebody else and something about you popped up in his mind, or
It could have
something
been the
like
man
that.
that's sitting down there, reminiscing on the good times with you, when you used to watch movies and laugh
Or
and good times
my
and them kind.
theory
And
is that it was nothing at all
I
and
don't
she
think it was.
chose to
Yeah,
inject herself and use that as a crutch. I don't think that people like this should be a means to persecute a whole thing,
no,
but things like that have happened over life, right? Like, people. Poor job, Miss Cleo. Call me now for your free tarot reading. Right?
That's actually a very good it's clear
Somebody
a
used
good
to call,
movie.
fun fact, somebody used to call me Miss Cleo in college. I don't know. Yeah.
right.
One of these white boys who thought my accent sounded, yeah,
Ah,
and he'd
usual.
always be like, call me now. He's like, say it for me. I'm like, okay.
And you
I'm a
indulged
stab
in.
you. Call me. I'm a stab you. Yeah. Um.
He was tutoring me in calculus, so
Um.
Ah, okay. We have
So here's the
internet now.
thing. I agree. We should not use that to
but
process
it's going to happen, right?
because I I what I agree and I believe in this whole astrology and all that stuff. Okay. Um. So we should not hold that against those things. It's the person. It's not the thing.
Hmm.
Astrology and tarot reading and
These are
Reiki
ancient
and
things,
these
right?
things are not the problem. It's people using those things in the wrong way. That's the issue
And
for me.
and kind of like, Prem brought up in our astrology episode and whatever. I don't remember if she brought it up so much there, but it's like people develop like a basic understanding of something and want to like latch on,
Like the
to
experts, they
that.
latch onto it
But
and
these
live by it.
things are ancient, practices and whatnot. It always hurts me that the things, and I almost feel like that's the energy for everything that you brought up. The things that are so not important get so much energy and attention on social media. But
Yeah,
that's how it is on news as well. The things that are controversial,
get the spotlight. Yeah,
sensationalism, have some kind of
true.
conflict or drama or something like that are what always gets so much attention, right?
Facts.
Yeah. Um.
So hope that we can do an episode one day that's like amazing things that we saw on social media that didn't get enough attention. But anyhow,
Boy, I want to agree, but a
you'll
lot
have
of
to dig.
well, it's not that. And even when you do dig and you find stuff, a lot of this shit is faked. People fake things just for likes and
Yeah.
views.
You know what was interesting to find? The number, I think you saw me watching them, certain YouTube and TikTok accounts that were based on people debunking TikTok or YouTube things, right? Where people saying, here's a life hack, do this and do that. And people are now like having to test these to see if they actually work, right? Like the whole like fact checking, whatever, and just
That could be a lucrative business, I think,
sensationables.
fact checking, because the
Mm.
amount of fake stuff people putting out is astounding.
Just to kind of end it on a random thing, did you all see that video of the guy who was using online technology to act like Tom Cruise and
Yeah,
it like looked like Tom Cruise?
yeah, yeah. He thinks he's Tom Cruise.
Well, he
But
doesn't.
bitch, he's Bobby with that. Don't worry. Don't worry yourself. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Like videos of Tom Cruise saying like
Yeah,
crazy
it looks like
stuff.
exactly like his face and all of that,
Yes.
but it's like he uses whatever special effects and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
but he had to find somebody who had a similar like facial feature like Tom Cruise, an expression, to be able to just simply take Tom Cruise's face and drop it onto the person's face. But yes, I know what you're talking
Yeah, but
about.
that's still like the next
Yes,
generation of like, there could be, if that technology goes further and further, like you could end up having so many videos of you online. Like you could create a whole separate identity frame. So I just saw a movie like storyline in, as soon as I saw that, right? Like somebody had a video made of them murdering somebody and they got locked up, only to find out
it
that
wasn't them. Somebody edited the
yeah,
video and
yeah,
yeah,
like that's the next level of faking and tricking and
fake news.
reality and not reality. And it made me question putting my face on the internet.
Right. So to end and kind of end on the topic we were on, I noticed, I believe 2020, the pandemic, it led to a lot of people being at home and having time with themselves and them exploring and wanting to get in touch with their emotions. And some of them, they dug into this astrology stuff and this energy and what kind of stuff. And they have come to a point where they think they're in touch with themselves and they think they've done the work. So they believe that it's okay for them to express themselves all the time because they believe, now that I know my emotions, I have my rights and I should be able to express my emotions and whatnot. And I'm here to tell you guys, I'm sorry, I don't want to be the one to burst your bubble. Sometimes there's some emotions you just have to keep to yourself, okay? You don't always have to share how you feel. You don't always have to share your emotions. And even if you are supposed to share it, people are not always going to react or furthermore even care about it the way that you want them to. So 2021 may say, just do better. Try and cool out on the internet crusading. Yeah, give the Twitter fingers a break. You know, go outside, right? Go outside and just walk. Read a book. Sometimes you have that urge to say something that you think people need to know. Think about it. Do people really need to know that? Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Go outside and drink your water.
Yeah, and mind your business.
Stay tuned for the Caribbean Millennials merch. The next one is going to say what? What? Say it again.
Drink your water
And
and
mind
mind
your
your business.
business.
Yeah,
Stayed inside, drinking my water, minding
yeah.
my business.
On that note, it's been another episode of the Caribbean Millennials podcast. We're out.